What does having open doors in my life look like? Wow. I think that's establishing relationships with people and nurturing them, really. I mean, that's fantastic to have a support system if we're talking about mental health.
Finish the sentence. I know my anxiety is setting in when I start getting extremely tense. I'm actually really a talkative person, but when I'm quiet and you see my fist clench, that means that I'm coming down with some anxiety.
Okay.
But luckily, I've learned that I just need to take a couple breaths, try to contemplate what are the right words to say in this situation to let the people know that I'm feeling a little anxious. And luckily enough, I have a lot of great friends and coworkers that will let me say those things in a safe place.
What's a non-negotiable in your life? In my life, have at least one active date in my week. Like if I haven't had the time to go work out at a gym, then I'm gonna be at the park like with my kids or like going to the beach or something like that at the end of the week. And I feel like if I don't have kind of like a pool date or something like that, like an active date, then I'm just not happy for the rest of the week.
What insecurity has been holding you back the most? I feel that I'm not up to par with other basketball officials within our region. So when I go out to events, I'm kind of shy and I'm nervous and I'm always overthinking, which will show on the court. And then sometimes it gets to a point where it impacts my performance. But then afterwards, when we do our post-game meetings and then the instructors come in, they have all positive remarks. And the things that I felt that I could have done better were actually like very minor and minute. So it's just getting into that headspace that I'm able to meet up to the standards of the region and just not second guess myself.
What's something you wish people were more accepting of? Maybe figure your body image. It doesn't matter if you're big or you're sexy or you're masculine. Everybody's equal. Everybody's a God creation.
What's one truth you've recently come to terms with? I have learned that myself being a people pleaser, I like to be on good relations and good terms with all the people that I come across. And I value relationships, just you opening up to me about anything or even you like allowing me to be friends with you. I value that and I hold that really close to my heart. And sometimes there will be people that you don't really mesh with, And for example, no matter like if you try hard to like establish the relationship or the friendship with them, if it's their preference to not continue that, and that's okay, You continue to be a good person. You continue to spread love.
Who in your life makes you feel the safest to share your thoughts? That would be my husband of 39 years. He doesn't offer his comments first until I finish talking.
Oh, perfect.
And he lets me talk and rant and continue. And then when I'm done, then he's willing to give his thoughts.
Who's been good for your mental health? Send them a picture of this card as a thank you. Who's been good for my mental health? Oh, I know.
Okay.
My dog.
Your dog?
Yeah. I don't think I can send him a photo. I can just send it to my family group chat. Oh, yeah, my dog. I have like 6 dogs.
Yeah.
And every time I come home, they're always excited to see me.
What's something you can be kinder to yourself about? I think not being so hard on myself when I don't meet a certain standard that I set for myself.
What's been good for your mental health? Send them a picture of this card as a thank you. Oh, who has been good? Oh, okay. I'm going to send you guys a picture because I'm thankful for you guys. And you guys help me navigate mental health on Guam.
How do you know when someone is truly listening to you? Eye contact and not like constantly interrupting or jumping to what they want to say, and you're still finishing off your sentence. I like to solve problems, so I had to realize when someone's telling me something that maybe they don't want their problem fixed, they're just venting,
right?
And they just want you to listen.
What have your past relationships taught you about yourself, both good and bad? I'll talk about friendships. Honestly, my friendships really matter to me. They have taught me a lot about, I'd say being honest with myself and also being honest to them, which I still have like, that's like my, how do I say it? It's what I strive to do.
Right.
Always be honest with my friends. I don't like lying to them. If I do, it's because I can't do anything in my power. Or sometimes I forget, which I'm trying to work on.
How do you personally define an open mind? I would say an open mind would be a person who is open to new experiences, somebody who is willing to be able to try new experiences, who isn't necessarily a yes person, but who's willing to explore their boundaries and go beyond their comfort zone in a sense that they're not too rigid and they don't mind exploring new opportunities for themselves. I would say it really is about setting clear boundaries. I may not be particularly into this, but I can try something a little less drastic or something that's closer within my comfort zone. So it's about setting clear boundaries for yourself and the other party.
How do you personally define an open mind? So like for me, open mind is like you're open to change. You're open to any suggestion or anything from a person. And you're not just focusing on one area. You're always like open to other, other views. If the person is giving you a suggestion, you're open to anything or any possibility. That's being open-minded for me.
What's a non-negotiable in your life? Anything that has to do with family, your time with family, everything that you buy for your family, the food that they eat, everything. For example, you have to sacrifice your time for yourself, time to spend with them, me with my son and my husband. So it's always up. It's non-negotiable.
How do you handle disagreements without shutting down? For me, the way I handle disagreements without shutting down is, more listening. I want to listen to what the other person has to say because I'm a firm believer that these people, if there's any type of disagreement, then they're coming from a place either emotional or just the way that they're straight thinking. And I want to be able to have that open-minded conversation. Because at the end of the day, for me, it's not that we're one side versus another side. What it's going to be is that we're just trying to address the type of question or issue that we're both trying to fight with. In my experience, it's always miscommunication, right? It's something where I misunderstood something or just my cultural biases or my biases have either shut it off or turned the topic another direction. But if I'm able to hear and see where you're coming from or what the context it is, I think it opens up that communication. But I really feel that it has to be communication, listening and being able to clarify what the issue is.
What piece of advice has helped your mental health the most? When you're feeling under pressure and you drop, don't crack under pressure like an egg. You gotta bounce back from adversities like a tennis ball.
Mine is life is 95% how you react and 5% how you let it make you feel.
My advice is there's always someone there that will always listen, and don't be afraid to be quiet. You need to be open and just let it out. When you need help, I'm sure there's people would be helping. The truth is there is someone out there who would love to listen and hear the stories.
How has your mental health affected your relationships? Well, made me insecure, about a lot of things. And when I think about like my family, I just I overthink sometimes, and I realize that I'm doing stuff wrong, and so I rethink.
What's a moment where you let go of judgment and just listen? I feel like this question's asking like about my ego. Okay. So I feel like a lot of times we just we kind of let the ego get in our way. I don't think I have that, but sometimes I do that with friends. And I feel like if you keep that ego, it kind of ruins your friendship and relationships. So it's best that sometimes you just put it aside and just listen.
In what ways do you want to be like the people who raised you? What's important for you to avoid repeating? So something to avoid repeating is you don't want to get their ego. You want to build your own personality, and you want to be different because everyone's different. Everyone grows up different. Everyone see everything's different. So you want to be your own self.
What do you need to hear most right now? I'm doing a good job. I'm a great mom, maybe.
You have people in your corner. I think that's always nice to know that there's support behind you.
What do you need to hear most right now? I need to hear
how proud somebody is of me. You know, we care more about what people besides ourselves, right? Yeah. Sometimes we need to take care of ourselves. Knowing I'm in the healthcare, you know, that's what it is. I forget to take care of myself.
What's one truth you've recently come to terms with? That I don't know everything, and that every day is a lesson. I'm always willing to learn something different. I know in my career, I'm always learning as well as a social worker, but like in my everyday life with physical fitness, with eating healthy and stuff like that, I'm always forever a student.
You don't have to have all the answers, just a willingness to ask. I think that's really good because honestly, I've struggled with like asking for help before, so it's kind of reassuring to like have this reminder.